There was a photograph on the table. The door had been locked from the inside. For 35 years, no one knew her name. The Midnight Paradigm. At the Midnight Paradigm, we re-examine evidence others leave unasked. A locked room, 35 years, no system could name her. The man in the Polaroid photograph was never publicly identified. The drug scale, labeled with a name, was never explained. $500, heroin, a locked door, officially ruled suicide. What we know, and what the record cannot explain. Tacoma, Washington, March 4, 1973. Rebecca is born. Friends called her Becca. She grew up in Los Angeles. Reseda, Silmer, San Fernando Valley, north of Los Angeles. Spring 1991. Becca had left. Her stepfather watched her go. She was 18, curly red hair, freckles, pale skin. Nobody filed a missing persons report for Becca Mallekoote. She left home. The system registered nothing. Who society searches for, and who it does not. June 3, 1991. Eduardo Collin checked into room 233. He listed 2 occupants. The other name was never recorded. Collin failed to check out. A security guard noticed. He forced the locked door. The room was sealed inside. A suitcase, beer bottles, a blue purse, $500. The scale, analog, a name written on it, George Martinez. And the Polaroid, a young woman, red hair, alive. The autopsy was conducted June 5 and 6, 1991. Cause of death, suicide by hanging, heroin in her system. The report noted elevated tolerance in heroin users. Her estimated age, 25 to 35, she was 18. Eduardo Collin died before investigators could fully question him. His family denied the photograph. The disconnect was never resolved. The case entered NamUs, the National Unidentified Persons Database. NCIC, the FBI's National Crime Database, listed her. Fingerprints, dental records, cross-state database searches. Nothing for years, then decades, nothing. What strikes us, not the failure, the precision of it. Traditional methods were applied correctly. They still reached a wall. The wall was not incompetence. The science did not exist. In 1991, the FBI DNA database CODIS did not exist. Forensic genealogy did not exist as a law enforcement tool. The APD case file stayed open officially, practically dormant. Becca's sample waited in New Mexico's Medical Investigator Archives. Evidence that could speak, waiting for a language. Before 2025, let us return to the room. The coroner estimated her age at 25 to 35. An 18-year-old whose life had aged her face. Heroin in her system, elevated tolerance in users noted. Suicide by hanging, the record supports it, open ground remains. The George Martinez scale was noted, not publicly pursued. In our assessment, the cash and scale suggest drug trade. What the evidence shows, the ruling is supported and incomplete. That is what the available record permits us to say. Now 2010, a genealogy platform launched, called GEDmatch. Amateur genealogists uploading DNA profiles to search for relatives. By 2018, the Golden State Killer proved the method's reach. Cold case, solved via Ancestry DNA upload, proof of concept. The method had a name: Investigative Genetic Genealogy. In Mahwah, New Jersey, Ramapo College established the IGG Center, a genetic genealogy center run by students and volunteers. By Becca's case, they had resolved over 20 cold cases. Crime track, science track, they had not yet converged. March 2021, 30 years later, a tip reached the APD. Anonymous, she went by Becca, possibly from Reseda or Silmer. The caller was the Polaroid man, 3 decades of silence. What made him come forward in 2021? Record is silent. His identity is confirmed to authorities, not publicly released. He confirmed she flew to Albuquerque from the Burbank area. Becca, Reseda or Silmer, the first thread in 30 years. Cross-referencing Los Angeles County against her description, nothing conclusive. The investigation needed what the file alone could not provide. December 2025, a New Mexico OMI investigator called Ramapo College. The Ramapo call, last resort referral after traditional methods failed. The Ramapo IGG Center accepted the case. The pipeline began. Step 1, DNA extraction. Sample shipped to Genealog, Georgia. Genealog performed whole genome sequencing from the decades-old sample. Step 2, sequencing data transferred to Parabon NanoLabs. Parabon created an SNP, a single nucleotide polymorphism profile. SNP profiling maps genetic markers to trace family connections. Verigen's sequencing technology was credited alongside Parabon and Genealog. January 2026, the SNP profile was uploaded to GEDmatch Pro. GEDmatch Pro holds millions of voluntarily submitted DNA profiles. The database matched Becca's profile, days, not years, days. The Ramapo team traced the DNA match through the tree. Becca Mallekoote, born March 4, 1973, Tacoma, Washington. The candidate matched: red hair, pale skin, freckles, age 18. The FBI and APD were contacted. They located Becca's stepfather. Ventura, California. He last saw Becca leave LA in 1991. He confirmed her description. Her half-brother was identified. The half-brother submitted his DNA. The answer was coming. The comparison, 100% half-sibling match. Room 233, Albuquerque, June 1991. The woman had a name. The announcement date was not arbitrary. There was a reason. March 5, 2026. What would have been her 53rd birthday? The APD and Ramapo IGG Center announced it, deliberately. The APD called it a years-long effort by multiple agencies. Forensic Magazine. The students identified her on her birthday. Not from the FBI, not from a federal forensic laboratory. A university center, students and volunteers, the right databases. Not the technology struck us reading the file, the scale. 3 months. Genealog, Parabon, GEDmatch, Ramapo confirmed match. The evidence was always there. Science had to catch up. The identification answers one question, not all of them. Still officially ruled suicide. No murder charges, no perpetrator named. The scale, $500. The man in the Polaroid. These details remain publicly unresolved as of this investigation. Eduardo Collin died before a full interview was possible. His family denied it. Motel records confirmed 2 occupants. That contradiction has never been publicly reconciled. The genealogy returned her name. Her death, still open questions. The identification and the investigation are not the same thing. The family now knows. The APD file remains open. Let us return to who Becca was, not the file. Becca Mallekoote, Tacoma, Washington, Los Angeles, 18 years old. A stepfather who remembered, a half-brother who returned her name. Investigators reached the stepfather in Ventura. He confirmed she left. He last saw her leave Los Angeles. He didn't know. 30 years as Jane Doe, now she had a name. No missing persons report was filed, not unusual for her. Young people in street economies are frequently not reported missing. Over 40,000 unidentified human remains in American databases. 40,000 case files, 40,000 families with no answer. The vast majority predate the forensic genealogy era. The evidence exists, samples preserved, the pipeline is missing. Ramapo, a new model volunteer forensic genealogy for government. Becca's case, one of 20+ the Ramapo IGG Center resolved. The center's work is at Ramapo, Edu. The list is public. Land of Entrapment published a 1,991 reconstruction from APD records. What the blog documented aligns with the official APD announcement. One detail we cannot verify: Becca's precise relationship with Colin. We won't fill that silence. The record won't permit it. 18 Drug trade adjacency, suicide ruling, no alternative pursuit. Confidence in the ruling or resource limits, open question. Not only who was she, but who gets searched for. She was in NamUs, only as useful as the infrastructure. Not a larger database, a new kind of key. GEDmatch Pro's opt-in law enforcement access was debated after 2019. Users opt in to law enforcement access. Privacy debate continues. More concrete, not resolved because of Becca's case. Her family did not upload DNA. Distant relatives did. Ramapo's documentation calls this the collaborative database effect. More people in genealogy databases, more cold cases become resolvable. Her half-brother confirmed how he received the news unknown. A private grief, human cost is not ours to narrate. For 35 years, Becca's family carried not knowing. As Forensic Magazine reported, the birthday announcement was intentional recognition. Becca Mallekoote, born March 4, 1973, identified March 5, 2026. 35 years, 4 months, the evidence waited for the science. The scale, the cache, the anonymous man still unresolved. The KRQE and Albuquerque Journal, March 2026 reporting is public. Forensic genealogy names someone in days. 40,000 still wait. A question the file didn't answer, that's the point.